next thing we were going to work on was just going to be basically a shield. So with a shield, all you're doing is you're changing a flinch reflex that wants to go out. So normally if somebody throws a punch at you or a ball at you or something like that, normally your hands come out to protect yourself. So all you're going to do is take that and turn it against the cells. So instead of being out, it comes in. And then, similar to what we were doing with the jab catch, where you move off to the one side, and then you've also got your parry with your front hand, which just comes across a little bit, just enough to block. Same thing, but all we're going to do is picture it a bit closer range with your jab catcher on the outside, moving, you're on the outside. With the shield, you're a bit closer in, perhaps you're in a corner and you can't get out the corner. You might use your shield then. So the shield is when you're under pressure and you start getting flinchy and your hands are getting a bit like that, that's when you use the shield. Things to remember with your shield are basically it needs to be framed. So that means when I perform a shield, it's not sat in the air, it's touching, almost like I'm rubbing my hairline, so it sits on my head, it's not just floating, it's got to sit in onto my head. Make sure your chin is tucked in the other side. Also think about the fact you might have to bring it down slightly if something's coming in here, so that way. So number one, it must be framed. You can't just perform it in the air. It doesn't work if you're just balancing the arm. It's got to be framed. It's got to be touching your head basically. Secondly, it's got to be mobile, meaning I frame it and then I can rub around my head to move the elbow shield where I want it to go, basically. So that's number two, it must be mobile. So you must be able to move it to where you want it to be, depending on what's coming. So for example, if it was a jab coming, I might go straight up, but then he might come with a cross, so I'll step off slightly, or vice versa, he might come with a cross first, then come with a jab. So I've got to be able to move my shields. And then thirdly, on impact, you should plunge slightly, so I'm in my stance. I do my shield and plunge down slightly, plunge down. This basically helps you dig in, stops you getting on the back foot so you're moving backwards. It helps you dig in and maintain balance. So if pressure was on, it stops me losing, stumbling or anything like that. I sink down. So the jab's coming, I sink down with it, and then whatever's coming next, I deal with that from a sunk position. So I drop and sink, then I move, then I can come back out and do whatever I'm doing. So short and sweet, just practice that basically. There's a few different exercises you can do for this one. If you think about plank position when you're on the floor, in plank position, instead of being on your forearms, put your hand behind your head and plank position from here. I'll show you in the next video. So basically 3 points. Must be framed and touching, so it's not floating in mid-air, otherwise you'll end up hitting yourself. So it must be framed. This way it keeps it sturdy, keeping the elbow pointing towards the opponent. Secondly, it must be mobile. So I must be able to move it around my head. Thirdly, plunge. So as the attack comes in, I plunge down, plunge down. So I'm just bending my knees slightly, basically, keeping my back straight. So I'm not plunging or leaning back, I'm not plunging and over leaning forward. Just straight down, bush, bush. So there are your 3 points. I'll show you some exercise for it in the next video.